Good afternoon, Sunshine Fam. Welcome back to another video in my series called Who Am I? Now, I know it's been a while since I have done a recording like this, so I want to start out by saying the root of a family tree, what does it say? Begins with love. And we're continuing with Germany today. We're going to finish up what information I have on my father's side of the family. And because my father's side was all German, that's why I showed you the German flag. The next video is going to start with my mother's side of the family, starting with my grandparents and going back. And I'm finding this is getting very confusing because it has been a while since I've made a video on this series. So I had to go back and rewatch some of my older videos to find out where I left off and mark which pages I've already talked to you about because they were kind of disorganized in my notebook. And I realized that I didn't write down the last names of some of these people, so I was getting really confused because there are two people I'm going to talk about today, which one is a 4 times great-grandparents and one is a 5 times great-grandparents, but both of them had children by the name of Adam. So I'm like, okay, wait a second, this is confusing. So I had to dig a little bit before I turned on my camera today to get it clear and straight in my head. Now, obviously, this video is going to be much shorter because the further back I go, the less information I have. So today, it's going to be a little bit confusing because I'm going to jump back further, and then I'm going to jump forward a little bit and then go back from that family. So I hope you guys can keep up. By the way, my name is Chloe. So continuing my journey down this rabbit hole, we are going to go back to the 1600s today, but not starting there, which is very interesting because that was before this country was even founded. So these people were all in Germany. So I will give you what little information I have on these people. I haven't done any more research into my family tree since I started making these videos back in January, February, something like that. Because I've been trying to get myself healthy and of course going back to work and everything, and so not quite back to work yet. My foot is feeling a little bit of pain these last few days. I am taking the medication, which makes me drowsy, but I find that if I put my foot in a certain position, it feels like a very strong Charlie horse in my foot, and no matter which way I move it, it hurts really bad. So I just have to find a position where that pain kind of goes away. But enough about me. Let's go back into my family tree here. So the last time that I spoke to you, we went back into the family tree of Adam Keppers and his very interesting story of having 2 wives. The second wife, I wasn't sure if she was adopted, so I can't say for sure that these people that I'm telling you about, 4 times great-grandparents and now going into 5th time, 5, 6, and 7 times, I think, these were from Northburga. And the information that I had found one time said that she may have been adopted. So these would not have been her blood relatives. Okay, so starting with Northburga's grandparents, which would have been my 5 times great-grandparents, so we're really stretching back now. The last name was Spitznagel. So her father's name, I will only give you the information I have, which is very, very little. Actually, no, this is an Adam. So this would have been, where was this Adam? Okay, so Adam would have been Northburga's father. So this would have been Northburga's paternal grandparents. Can you follow this logic? the further back I go, the more you guys are going, how is this working? Scratching your heads. So, his name was Johannes, or Johannes, and he was born in 1767 in Germany. His wife's name was Sophia Mayer, born in 1767 and died in 1795. At least that the month and day that I have is when she was buried. So I presume that they buried people rather quickly after their death. And that was back in March. So I presume she died sometime late February, early March that year. She was born and died in Germany. So I presume Johannes was also died in Germany. They were married in October of 1789. And I have 3 children listed for them. Michael, Adam, and Dominicus. Domincus. Adam was the one that was related to me. So now going back on Sophia's side, so this is a Mayer. So yeah, this is all these branches going off on all different directions, right? So Sophia's parents would have been my 6 times great-grandparents. And her father's name was Joseph, born in 1721 and died in 1792. He died in Germany, so I presume he was born in Germany. I don't know if Mayer is a German name. His first wife, he was also married twice. His first wife's name was Eva Simbler, but that's not the woman that I was related to. They got married in 1752. I don't have any other information about her, but then he got married a second time to a woman by the name of Maria Greiser, Griesser. She was born in 1728 and died in 1794. Don't know where she was born or died. They were married in May of 1766. And they had 2 children that I have listed, Sophia, which was the relative, and Teresia. A lot of Teresias back then. And so Joseph's parents, so now I can go back to 7 times great-grandparents, which is just crazy. This is when we dig into the 1600s. So Joseph's parents must have been Joseph Jr. because his father's name was also Joseph, born in 1678. Isn't that crazy? And his mother's name was Katharina Rauch, R-O-U-C-H, born in 1680 and died in 1751. It's the only information I have about them, and then I hit a brick wall. So it's pretty crazy that I can go back to my 7 times great-grandparents. Oh my goodness, but like I said, the further back I go, the less information I have about these people. So that's the only information I have about Joseph and Katharina. I think it's Katharina, yeah. So now we move back closer again to Adam Kepper's parents. So let me kind of give you a little bit of a recap for those of you that haven't watched the video in a while. Adam Keppers had some brothers, which would have been, I realized that when I made my video of where I said the church my family built or something, I kept saying my 3 times great uncles, but it would have been my 4 times great uncles, because it would have been Adam's brothers, and Adam was my 3 times great grandfather. But if you think about it in your own family tree, closer to where you're at now, if you have grandparents and they had siblings, they would not be your great aunts, they would be they wouldn't be your grand aunts or your aunts, whatever, it would be your great aunts. So it would be your grandparents, but your great aunts. I'm not sure how that works. It is getting a little confusing, But Adam's brothers were the ones that founded Avon, Minnesota, and they're the ones that built that church. So it would have been 4 times great uncles. So Adam's brothers. So Adam's parents were my 4 times great grandparents, last name of Keppers. Interestingly enough, you're going to find this funny if you've been watching my video since January. My 4 times great grandfather's name is Nikolai. You can't make this up. I believe his birth year was 1778, so 2 years after our country was founded. But he was born in Germany and died in Rhineland-Pfalz, Germany. No occupation. He was married to a woman named Anna Maria Spoden. She was also born in 1778, born in Bitburg, Prüm, Germany, and died in Prussia, Germany. Don't have a marriage date for them, but I do have 2 children listed for them. I'm sure they had more than that. Anna Gertrudis, and then Adam Keppers, the one that I was telling you about. Now, I can also go to a 5 times great grandparents for Nikolai. My 5 times great grandparents from Nikolai. All I have is a father, and all it said was Keppers, born in Germany. Don't know a first name, don't know who he was married to, don't know anything else. So that's 5 times great grandparents there. So let me mark these people off before I get confused on my next one, which I don't know when I'll make that one. So now going back, this is Spoden. Okay, so now we're going to Anna Maria's side. So 5 times great grandparents from Anna Maria. And this one gets confusing too because I've got notes in the margin. Please bear with me while I try to figure this out as I'm doing it. So 5 times great grandparents for Anna Maria. Her father's name was also Nikolai. This is crazy. Born in 1749 in Germany. Her mother's name was Gertrudis Nickelmans. Born in 1754 and died in 1812. She was born in Belgium, in Burg, B-U-R-G, Reuland, R-E-U-L-A-N-D, Liege, L-I-E-G-E, and also died in Belgium, the same place. Didn't know I had Belgium blood running through me. They were married about 1778. They had a bunch of kids. So if you remember me saying, I think it was in the last video that I made, that the further back I went, I noticed that when people had children back then, the children either died in utero or died maybe as infants. Most likely died as infants, given the information I have on this page. But they would name the child a certain name. And then when that baby died and they had another baby of the same gender, they would name that baby the same name as the baby that died. So they must have really liked the name. This is a good example. So see if you can follow the logic here. So the children of Nikolai Spoden and Gertrudis Nickelmans were Anna Maria, which was my relative, Matthias, Albertus, Maria, just plain Maria instead of Anna Maria. Then we have Johannes, born 1784, another Johannes, born 1784, and a third Johannes, born 1785. So she must have had either miscarriages or maybe the baby died shortly after birth. So she was pregnant, excuse me, 3 times in 1 year, because the one that went on to live for a while, I don't remember, I don't have the death date of this, the third one, was born in 1785. So I don't know all the information about those three people, but they would have been, what, my 6 times great uncles or something like that. Then Elisabetha, Michael, another Maria. So that must have been another death of the first Maria, and then it went on to have another Maria. And then they had another daughter, and they named her Marie. So tell me that's not confusing. You got Anna Maria, 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 and Marie. Go figure. So, from Gertrudis, I believe, the way I have this written, it is very confusing in my book. So, next to Gertrudis Nickelmans, I have her parents being Matthias Nickelmans and Maria Seitzen. Seitzen. I only have names. And then from Matthias, I'm sorry, I do have information about that. Okay, so Matthias was born in 1718 and died in 1778 in Liège, Belgium. Don't know if that was where he was born or died, maybe both. And then Maria, the wife, was born, 1721, it's kind of scribbled on here, and died in 1843, and they were married in 1741 in Belgium. So I find it interesting that not only am I German, I've got Belgium blood running through my veins. So those would have been my 6 times great-grandparents. Oh, this is so confusing. I swear to God, it is so confusing. So that pretty much, let me make sure that I haven't skipped anybody. So that pretty much ends my father's side of the family. So that's why this one is way shorter than the previous ones, because as I say, the further back I go, the less information I have. And I haven't taken the time, I've gotten kind of lazy about this, haven't exactly taken the time to do any more research to see if I can find out any more information. I still am very interested, since we're talking about my father's side, I'm still very interested in finding out more information. If I were to take one person of all the people that I've told you about in my father's side of the family, one person that I really would like to know more information about, which I'd probably get about that much, was his sister that nobody knew anything about. So for those of you that are just joining me that haven't gone to listen or to watch some of my other videos, let me just kind of recap a little bit. Okay, so for my dad's side of the family, he had 6 children in his family, including my father. 3 have passed away, and 2 are living. No, 3 are living. I keep forgetting about my aunt. So, his oldest brother was named Joseph, and then he had a brother named Clarence, who died at the age of 4. You'll have to go back to my first video of Who Am I to get the stories on these people. But the 3rd child is the one I'm really interested in. Her name was Charlene. And the only information I have about her is that she was born in 1930 and died in 1933, which is the same year that my father was born. And then he has a brother named Herman, who is getting really up there in age. He's still alive, but from what I understand from my father, barely holding on. And then there was my father, JB, and my aunt Mary, who is 13 years younger than my father, and she's still alive. She's my godmother, although I don't really think there's much credence in that title anymore. But I really, out of all these people, that I've told you about. And there's been a lot, haven't there? The one person I really want to know about is Charlene. And why she was such a mystery. I mean, I literally found out about her, last year, 2 years ago? By accident. When my father gave me a packet of information, paperwork, about mostly myself that he was trying to get rid of. And in there was a piece of paper requesting a birth certificate that was written in my father's handwriting. And all it said was her name was Charlene and the last name, and that her parents' names were Frank and M, which were my grandparents. That's all the information I had at the time. So I'm like, who is this? So I called my parents immediately and asked them who this was, and they thought I was talking about Clarence. And I talked to my mother and I said, no, this is not Clarence. This is a woman. This is a girl by the name of Charlene, born in 1930. So she apparently asked my dad, and when I asked her again, she said, well, first my dad denied any information about that. He didn't know anything about it, even though it's clear that this paper has my dad's writing on it. So then I asked my mom again, and she said, yes, it's true. There was another child born to your grandparents by the name of Charlene, but your father doesn't want to talk about it. So I kind of hit a brick wall there. So I'm not allowed to bring up her name with my father or even my mother, because she's not going to get any information about her. So then I did some digging when I went to the library, and I looked up, or maybe it was before I went to the library, and I was going on MyHeritage, and I looked up her name. And sure enough, the only other information I could get was that she died in 1933. It doesn't say what she died of. So that would be interesting to know why she was kept such a secret, but everybody knows about Clarence, who died when he was 4. And then, of course, Joseph lived to be much older before he unfortunately took his own life. So I really would like to know more information about Charlene. Like I said, it probably won't be much. And I don't know if I can go to the city hall of that county to get information, because the paper that I have just, it shows that in order to get the information that my father was looking for, which was a copy of her birth certificate, you have to be directly related to them, like parent or sibling, I think. Or you'd have to have some just reason why you want the information. Now, I don't know what year he was trying to get this information, so it may have been quite some time ago. Doesn't have a date on there as to when he filled it out. The only date that's on there is her birth date, which was August of 1933. And so maybe things have changed. Maybe if I request information about her from the county, maybe I can go in and say, hey, I'm doing a deep dive into my family tree, found out that I had this aunt that I didn't know anything about, and that she was 3 years old when she died, or roughly 3 years old, 2 or 3. And I would like to know if I can look at some documentation about her, like her birth certificate, maybe her death certificate, how she died. You know, that would be interesting information for me to get, like the day, the month and day that she died, and what she died of, how she died. I'd be very interested in that. So if I can ever get that information, I will definitely put that in another video. I don't know if I would hook it with another video, like putting it in when once I get the information, if it takes me this long to do my mom's side, because I can go back quite a distance on my mom's side too. Wait a minute, that's all good. Okay, I gotta go to my mom's side. I gotta get my paperwork here. Sorry, give me just a second, guys. Okay, so I gotta start with my mom's side here. So I can go back quite a ways, 3 times, and I do have pictures and documentation. 4 times great-grandparents. I gotta go into this and write down names. Last names 5 times. It looks like there were multiple marriages on that side of the family as well. So that's my grandfather's side. Then I go to my grandmother's side, which is the Murphy. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I can add somebody else to this video because I just found another page in the back. Oh my gosh. Wait a second, you guys. Hold on. I forgot I wrote these down. Okay, so I can go back. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. I forgot that I wrote these people after the information about my maternal grandparents, my mom's side of the family. Okay, so sorry, getting back into this video again. So back on the track here. Sorry. All right, so I told you about a gentleman by the name of Adolf. I think that was in my last video. Let's see here. Okay, hold on. Where was Adolf in here? Nikolai. Where's Adolf? Okay, Adolf was a 4 times great-grandfather for me. And I had put, I think I had said in that video that I had Adolf's parents' names but didn't have much information. So I think what I did is I just added them to another page. So this would have been the Ebnett side of the family. So my grandmother's mother's side. Okay. So hold on. Okay, so let me get back into this. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I had this in the back. I thought, yeah, there was other people that I wrote in here, but I went back and I'm like, okay, no, I must have added them in earlier. Okay, so jumping back into last video, Adolf Ebnett's parents would have been my 5 times great-grandparents. Now, the only information I have is his father's first name was Adelbart, Adelbart, born in 1772, and his wife's name was Abigail Reiffert, Reiffert, born in 1776 in Germany. And I think when I looked at that video, I said that was a year before our country was founded. Not true, because we are celebrating 250 years this year, and it's 2026. So she was born the year this country was founded. And I only have Adolf as their child. I don't have a marriage date or anything like that. Then, from Adelbart, the father, I can go back to 6 times great-grandparent. And his father's name was Ludwig Ebnett Jr., born in 1747 in Germany. His wife's name was Elizabeth not Margaretha. Looks like I have it spelled Marharetha. Marharetha? That's an interesting name. And I have them with 2 children. The second child's name is strange. So Adelbart and Carl Christian Christiane. To me, that sounds like a female's name, but the first name sounds like a male's name. So they did name their kids differently back then. And from Joseph. Oh, this is Mayer. Okay, so now we're going back into, I think it was Anna Marie. Yeah, because this is another one where they had multiple children with the same name. So I think this was Anna Maria's parents, because I think her last name was Mayer. Let me see. I don't want to get this wrong. Okay, so where was it? Okay, so this is 7 times great-grandparents. So we got to go to 6 times great-grandparents, which was Mayer. So 5 times Sophia. I'm sorry, not Anna Maria. Sophia was married to Johannes. And that was back in, they got married in 1787. So that one I believe was in my last video. Because that's where the Spitznagel came in. Johannes was Spitznagel and his wife's name was Sophia Mayer. So, but somehow I have this as Joseph being the connection. So hang on. So wait a minute, that would be 7 times. So yeah, here we go. So Sophia's parents were Joseph Mayer and Maria Greiser. Oh, that was his second wife. First wife was Eva Simbler, if you remember that one. And then Maria Greiser would have been my relative because their child's name was Sophia. So from that Joseph, now we go to 7 times great-grandparents. So Joseph's parents' names, so it must have been a Joseph Jr. and a Joseph Sr. Oh my gosh, these people were very confusing. So now, again, we're going back to the 1600s. So Joseph Mayer was born in 1678 and died in 1751. And his wife's name was Katharina Rauch, R-A-U-C-H, born in 1680 and died in 1751. I did mention these people in the last video. They were married in 1703 in Germany. So they were probably born and died in Germany. They had a lot of kids, some of them with the same name. So the first Joseph was born and died in 1703. Then they had Johannes Baptista, which may be a female name. And then they had 3 daughters with the same name born in different years. So the first one, I mean, the name is Maria. So the first Maria was born and died in 1711. Second Maria was born and died in 1713. And the third Maria was born in 1715 and went on to live quite a long life. I didn't put her death year in here. Oh, what is this name? Burkhard? B-U-R-C-K-H-A-R-D was after the Maria that lived. And then Joseph, which would have been my relative, and Anna. And that's when I hit a brick wall at that point. So I can go back 7 times great-grandparents on that side too. So this is just crazy. Okay. So then the next video is going to go into my mom's side of the family. I won't be telling you about all of them in the same video. I will probably do, because I have information about my grandparents, obviously, because I was alive when they were alive. And then I can tell you a little bit about my uncles, my mom's brothers. She did not have any siblings that passed away. when she was a child. But I mean, she's the only one left of the three of them. But I can tell you a little bit about them. Tell you about my grandfather, the one that has this chair next to me. I've got pictures of him and his grandfather and his father. I have pictures of the Murphys. I have hanging on my wall, I know I've showed you this before, but I have hanging on my wall that my parents had framed artifacts that belonged to my mom's parents. So I will be showing you that in that video. I also have pictures that go back a little ways on my mother's side of the family as well. So I will be showing you more pictures in the next, to start the next stage of my life, which is my mom and going back on her side of the family. I probably will go grandparents, great-grandparents, and 2 times in one video. Or maybe I'll just go, I'll do kind of like a recap of my parents, and then do like parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents maybe, and then do 2 and 3 times great-grandparents on another video. Well, let's see, 3 and 4 times great-grandparents. Okay, so this gets a little confusing too, because I think I start out by going on my grandfather's side first, and I have them back a little bit further than on my dad's father's side, my grandfather. So there's going to be different names here, and the way that the names were spelled going back changes, which is interesting, but I'll have a story about that. And then we'll go on my grandmother's side. So I can go back on my grandfather's side 5 times, it looks like. Let's see. When do we get to the Murphys? So I can go back to about 5 times great-grandparents on my grandfather's side, and we'll we'll delve deeper into that once I get into those videos. And then that's on one side, and then 4 times great-grandparents on the other, like the wife or the husband's side. And then we'll delve into the Murphy side of the family, which is my grandmother. So then I can go back 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 7 times. Oh, wait, no. These are the ones I already did. Never mind. I'm getting myself confused. Mark them off, mark them off. So these people I already did. So I gotta put a check mark on the people I've already done to not confuse myself, much less you guys. So I can go back 3 times great-grandparents on the Murphy side, which obviously there's different names for the wives on that, which is interesting because some of the wives' names are the same, but they're from a different side of the family. And this is where we get into the many different countries, the 3 different countries, actually 4, because my grandfather also had German on his side of the family as well. But on my grandmother's side, we also have Irish. I think the French and German are on my grandpa's side, my mom's dad, and the Irish and English are on my grandmother's side. So I've got my flags ready for you. So I'm excited to share with you my mom's side of the family. Really, really excited about that. So I'm sorry this one got a little bit more confusing. Kind of jumped the track and came back. But anyway, so this right now ends the journey on the German side of the family, my dad's side. So that side of the family tree is done. Now it's time to go to this side of the family tree. So I'm anxious to share that information with you. It'll be slow in coming because I'm supposed to go back to work on Tuesday. We'll see how it goes with my foot. But I wanted to thank you guys for joining me on this journey. It is kind of exciting for me. Hopefully it's exciting for you. And then maybe once I'm done with, my mom's side of the family, I don't know if I'm going to keep delving into seeing if I can get back even further on my mom's side of the family to see if I can get like 6, 7 times back or whatever, or if some of these people might have interesting stories to tell. The further back I go. Like I said, all of my dad's side of the family seem to all be farmers. My mom's side of the family, a little bit different. So now we go from farming community or the country to the city. So it'll be a little bit more fast-paced, I guess you could say. So thank you for joining me on this journey. I hope you will continue to join me on this journey. I noticed that my viewership has considerably gone down. If I were to say I really wish there were more people that would view these videos, I can't talk to people who aren't going to watch them. But I appreciate all those of you that are sticking with me. Still more numbers than I've had in a while, but not by much. Like 20, 30 people, whereas some of the older videos that I did back in January had like a few hundred. 400, 500, 600 videos from when they were doing the ice raids. I have now talked to Silver Star about all of that, and because now she's done with her jury duty. She was never called up for jury duty, or to be on a jury, I should say. She was called into town back in April, and she was on a jury pool, but then they excused her after the first day, said that they had enough jurors, and she was done. So I'm like, good, now I can tell you about all the stuff that I couldn't tell you back then. So when I was telling her all the stuff that I was telling all of you guys about all these ice raids and Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi and Carolyn Levitt and all this stuff, all the stuff that we were laughing about that Nikolai Carpathia was saying, she was giving me the funniest looks, and this was on our trip up to Sauk Center last weekend. So she learned a lot on that trip that she didn't know anything about. I have shared with her the videos of Renee Good and Alex Preddy's executions. She was very disturbed by that. She thought it was very vile, just like the rest of us did. So she's pretty much up to date. She doesn't want to focus so much on the negative. But again, please visit her on her channel, which I believe is at SilverStar13. What is her channel name? Oh, somebody left me a voicemail. Don't know who it was. What is SilverStar's channel's name? Give me just a second, folks. I gotta try and find her channel name. Now, Sea Dog said that he has a YouTube channel. He doesn't have any videos up or anything, but I couldn't find it. Apparently, it's at C-Dawg, D-A-W-G, in the house. All one word. But if you look that up, you're not going to find even a channel for him. So I don't know if when you don't use your channel that YouTube deletes it or something. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But it's supposed to be at C-Dawgindahouse. If you guys can find it, more power to you. Let me see if I can find Silver Stars. Silver Star. Oops, Silver Star. Oops, I didn't spell it right. Sorry. Silver Star. No. R. Thank you, Silver Star. I want to say it's 16 something. 1690? Is that what it is? Okay, I'm coming up with a lot of shorts here. No, that's not it. I have no idea, but go back to my video that I posted. I think it was no, it wasn't the last video I posted, because I did those 2 presidential videos in there. Go back to the video 3 videos ago, I believe it was, in my video collection. And by the way, this is video number 300. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. I was gonna do a big thing about that. Anyway, in my video that I titled the church my family built, she mentions the name of her YouTube channel. So please go back and watch that. Please go and watch her videos, support her, comment on her videos, subscribe to her. And hopefully if she gets more people subscribing to her and more people commenting, John, thank you very much. I forgot to tell her that you had posted comments on her videos. I don't know if she's seen them or not. She hasn't mentioned it, but I will definitely tell her. But anyway, subscribe to her and watch her videos. She does videos on furries, videos on Pokemon. She really should do a video about her book a little bit and about her life and everything. But go and support her, get her viewership up, or her subscribers up. I think she's only got 77 subscribers. And so she could use some more help on her channel. So it's at Silver Star. I'm pretty sure it's at Silver Star 16 something, 1690 I want to say, or maybe it's at Star Shadow. Let me try that one. Hold on. I'm so sorry for not being so organized today, but let me try at Star Shadow. Let's see if it's 1690. I keep spelling it wrong. Oh my gosh. My freaking fat fingers. Star Shadow. I want to say that's it, but it's, no, it's not telling me that. I don't remember what it is. I don't hardly go to her page. She hasn't put out a video in quite a while, but maybe if she gets more subscribers, it will encourage her to put out more videos. And now that it's summer, hopefully she can get outside in the sunshine and maybe do some more videos of her dancing in her fursuit or talking about Pokemon or whatever. So go and subscribe to her and comment on her videos, like her videos, give her all the love that you can. And I appear in some of her videos as well. Very few, but a few. So thank you for joining me today. Continue to watch my videos on this journey of who am I. And obviously I am not a farmer, so I did not follow the path of my father's side of the family. Although I am a very hardworking person. My dad did teach me very strong work ethics. So I guess I got that from my dad. And yes, my parents are both still alive. My dad is now 93 and no, yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, he's 33, or he's 93, and my mom will be 88 this year. Yeah, because she's 5 years younger than my dad. So, and they also have health issues as well, being that age, but they are still around for now. We know that their time is limited because nobody lives forever, but there is longevity in my dad's side. And my mom seems to be having more health problems than my dad. But that's a video for another time. All right, I'm going to shut up now. So thank you for joining me today. And we will see you guys on the next one. Have a sunny day.